and Tom's story began with dreams of a family that, despite their unwavering love and relentless hope, never came to fruition. Each negative pregnancy test chipped away at their optimism, turning their home into a silent battlefield of unspoken tension and growing despair. As the strain mounted, Tom's patience frayed, and the arguments grew more frequent and intense. Sarah's determination clashed with Tom's increasing skepticism, leading to a breaking point where Tom confessed he couldn't endure the cycle of hope and disappointment any longer. His decision to leave shattered Sarah, leaving her to navigate the aftermath alone. Yet, in her profound grief, she found strength, rediscovered passions, and rebuilt her life. Sarah's journey from heartbreak to renewal is a powerful testament to resilience and the human spirit's ability to find light even in the darkest times. The doctor visits became a source of tension as well. Each appointment was a reminder of their failures, a painful confirmation that their dreams were slipping further away. The doctors suggested various treatments, each more invasive and expensive than the last. Tom was growing increasingly skeptical, questioning whether they were chasing false hope. Sarah, on the other hand, was willing to try anything, desperate to hold on to their shared dream. The strain on their relationship grew with each passing month. Tom became increasingly distant, retreating into his work and spending more time away from home. Sarah could feel him slipping away, but she didn't know how to reach him. The arguments about treatments became more frequent and intense, each one leaving them both feeling more isolated and frustrated. The growing tension between them was palpable, a constant undercurrent that colored every interaction. Sarah tried to maintain a brave face, but inside she was struggling. She felt like a failure, her body betraying her dreams of motherhood. She began to withdraw, avoiding social gatherings where she knew she would be bombarded with questions about when they were going to start a family. The once happy couple, who had been the life of the party, now found themselves drifting apart, their conversations reduced to strained pleasantries. Tom's frustration was growing as well. He had always been supportive, but the constant disappointment was taking its toll. He found himself questioning whether this was the life he wanted, whether the endless cycle of hope and despair was worth it. The man who had once been Sarah's rock was now grappling with his own doubts and fears, unsure of how to support his wife without losing himself in the process. The tension reached a boiling point one evening after a particularly heated argument. Tom stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind him. Sarah was left standing in the kitchen, tears streaming down her face. She knew that their relationship was on the brink, but she didn't know how to pull it back from the edge. The strain of their infertility struggles was tearing them apart, and she feared that they might not be able to survive it. Desperation and hope became the twin pillars of their existence. Sarah and Tom tried various fertility treatments, each one bringing a fresh wave of optimism, followed by crushing disappointment. They saw specialists, tried different medications, and even considered alternative therapies. Each treatment was a beacon of hope, but with every failure, the light dimmed a little more. Sarah's relentless hope was both her strength and her downfall. She refused to give up, convinced that their time would come. She threw herself into research, reading every book and article she could find about infertility and treatments. She joined support groups, finding solace in the stories of other couples who had faced similar struggles. Her determination was unyielding, but it came at a cost. Tom's patience was fading. He was exhausted, both physically and emotionally. The constant cycle of hope and disappointment was taking its toll, and he found himself growing resentful. He felt trapped in a never-ending loop, unable to see a way out. His frustration boiled over in moments of anger, lashing out at Sarah in ways he would later regret. The once strong bond between them was fraying, pulled apart by the weight of their unfulfilled dreams. One evening, after another failed treatment, Tom's frustration reached its peak. He had come home late from work, hoping to avoid another emotional confrontation. But Sarah was waiting for him, her eyes filled with tears and desperation. "We need to talk," she said, her voice trembling. Tom felt a surge of anger, a mix of frustration and helplessness that he couldn't contain. The argument that followed was explosive. Years of pent-up emotions spilling out in a torrent of accusations and blame. Sarah accused Tom of giving up, of not supporting her dreams. Tom lashed out, telling her that he couldn't keep living this way, that the constant disappointment was killing him. It was a moment of raw honesty, but it left them both shattered. The hope that had once sustained them now felt like a cruel joke, a distant memory of a life they no longer recognized. The breaking point came after another negative pregnancy test. Sarah and Tom had just returned from a doctor's appointment, where they had been told that their latest treatment had failed. The drive home was silent, the air thick with unspoken tension. When they arrived, Tom went straight to the bedroom, slamming the door behind him. Sarah stood in the hallway, her heart heavy with despair. That night, the argument erupted with a force that neither of them had anticipated. Tom's frustration and Sarah's despair collided in a whirlwind of accusations and tears. "I can't do this anymore," Tom shouted, his voice filled with a mixture of anger and resignation. "I can't keep pretending that everything is going to be okay when it's not." Sarah's heart broke at his words. She felt a wave of panic, a desperate need to hold on to the life they had built together. "We can get through this," she pleaded, her voice trembling. "We just need to keep trying." But Tom's resolve had hardened. "I'm done trying," he said, his voice cold and distant. "I can't keep living like this, Sarah. It's killing me." The reality of his words hit Sarah like a physical blow. She felt her knees buckle, sinking to the floor as sobs racked her body. Tom stood there for a moment, his own eyes filled with tears, before turning and walking out of the room. The sound of the front door closing echoed through the house, a final punctuation to the end of their dreams. Sarah was left alone, surrounded by the remnants of their hopes and dreams. The silence was deafening, a stark contrast to the life that had once been filled with laughter and love. She felt a profound sense of loss, not just for the children they would never have, but for the life and love that had been irrevocably changed. Tom's decision to leave came swiftly after that night. He started packing his bags the next morning, his actions deliberate and methodical. Sarah watched in stunned silence, her heart breaking with every item he placed into his suitcase. She wanted to beg him to stay, to find a way to fix what was broken. But the words wouldn't come. She felt paralyzed, trapped in a nightmare from which she couldn't wake. The conversation that followed was one of the hardest of their lives. Tom sat down with Sarah, his expression a mix of sadness and determination. "I can't do this anymore, Sarah," he said, his voice breaking. "I love you, but I can't keep living in this cycle of hope and despair. It's tearing me apart." Sarah felt a surge of anger and betrayal. "So you're just going to leave?" she demanded, her voice rising. "After everything we've been through, you're just going to walk away?" Tom's eyes were filled with tears. "I don't want to, but I don't know what else to do," he admitted. "I feel like I'm losing myself in this process, and I can't find a way to be happy anymore." His words cut deep, the finality of his decision sinking in. Sarah felt a wave of despair, a realization that their marriage was truly over. The promises they had made to each other on their wedding day now felt like empty words, shattered by the harsh realities of their lives. Tom's departure was a slow and painful process. He moved out of their home, leaving Sarah to face the emptiness alone. Each day was a struggle, a painful reminder of the life they had lost. The house felt like a tomb, filled with memories of happier times that now seemed like a distant dream. Sarah was left to pick up the pieces, her heart heavy with grief and sorrow. The aftermath of Tom's departure was a period of profound grief and self-discovery for Sarah. She found herself grappling with a deep sense of loss, not just for the children they would never have, but for the life and love that had been irrevocably changed. Each day was a struggle to find a new sense of normalcy, to redefine her identity in the absence of the dreams that had once defined her. Sarah sought solace in the support of friends and family. Her best friend, Emily, became her rock, offering a shoulder to cry on and a listening ear. Emily encouraged Sarah to seek professional help, and she began seeing a therapist who helped her navigate the complex emotions of grief, anger, and betrayal. Through these sessions, Sarah started to understand that her worth was not defined by her ability to conceive, and that she could find happiness and fulfillment in other ways. She also threw herself into her work, finding a sense of purpose in her career that had been overshadowed by her quest for motherhood. Her colleagues rallied around her, offering support and encouragement. She began to see herself not just as a woman who had failed to become a mother, but as a capable and talented individual with much to offer the world. The journey of healing was not linear. There were days when the pain was overwhelming, when the memories of her life with Tom were too much to bear. But slowly, she began to find moments of peace and joy. She reconnected with hobbies and passions that she had neglected, rediscovering the things that brought her happiness. She took up painting again, finding solace in the creative process. She started volunteering at a local animal shelter, finding comfort in the unconditional love of the animals she cared for. As the months passed, Sarah began to look at her life with a new perspective. She started to understand that her marriage, while filled with love and hope, had not defined her. She found strength in her ability to move forward, to rebuild her life on her own terms. She looked back on her relationship with Tom not with bitterness, but with a sense of gratitude for